This question is simple, Paige Dimakos. Are the 49ers the best team in the NFC?
No, they're not. I still like the Rams as the best team in the NFC, but the San Francisco 49ers have the same thing that the Rams have going for them. They have experience. They've been there. They've been to the
Mhm.
dance. They've been played in the Super Bowl. The difference between these two is the LA Rams have a Super Bowl ring, right? And that's different. Being there, getting there, and winning it in the last 5 years. San Francisco 49ers still have that championship pedigree. And if Christian McCaffrey is going to play like he did tonight on Sunday Night Football, he's going to potentially get another thousand year, which is insane when you consider that that's only happened 3 times in NFL history, and he's one of those people. He might do it again with a different team back when he did it with Carolina, now doing it with San Francisco. So I believe in San Francisco. I think they're a true contender. But as far as the best team in the NFC, I'm still sticking with the LA Rams.
Oh man, this one was so tough, right? And I'm trying not to be or do the overreaction
Yeah,
thing,
you're
right?
trying not to overreact, even though you
The
want to a
instant
little bit.
reaction. But man, watching this football team, right? Offensively, it seemed like they had all of the answers, right? You watch
Mm-hmm.
them and the Chicago Bears go up and down the football field. And then defensively, I think they're opportunistic defense, right? Like,
Yeah,
look, Chicago moved the ball at will against them, right? But they've had weeks where they've really shown up, right? They played really good football. So I'm gonna go with this. I don't think they're the best team in the NFC, but I really want to place them number two now. When I think about if I place the LA Rams number one, I think they will give the Philadelphia Eagles a problem. I
I
look
agree.
at the Seattle Seahawks, right? And like you said, the Brock Purdy and Shanahan combination, that's a proven situation, meaning that
Yep,
they've been to the Super Bowl already, right? When
yep.
you talk about George Kittle, Trent Williams, there are a lot of players on this football team that have, quote unquote, been there, done that, right? And they know what it takes in those tough leverage moments. And it comes down to this. Do you trust a Brock Purdy or more than Sam Darnold, or you trust Sam Darnold more than Brock Purdy, right? And I
Yeah.
think right now, especially coming off of that game, you trust Brock Purdy. And I look at the San Francisco 49ers' ability to continue to fight. And I'm talking about throughout the season, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all collectively wrote them off when Brock Purdy went down, George Kittle was out, Trent Williams was out, Fred Warner was out, and they've continued to find a way to fight. That you look at it and say, man, if they were healthy the entire team, they may be the number one seed going away, right? They may have went 15-2 or something like that this year. So really like the 49ers. I think they have my respect like all the way. And I would not be surprised
100%.
if they made it to the Super Bowl after their performance, but I still want to put the Los Angeles Rams ahead of them.
Yeah, this NFC West, minus the Cardinals, who don't belong in the same sentence as those other 3 teams, they all have reasons why you want to believe in them as the best team in the NFC. The reason why I have the Rams still is because to me they're the most complete team. Right from when I'm talking all 3 phases of football, they also have the coach and quarterback tandem that have been there, done that, and won it. And I think that's the only problem with that is you know what happens if Shanahan and McVay face off against each other. Shanahan has given McVay lots of issues in the history of those two playing each other. This division plays each other really tough. Now, coming into week 18, this last week, right, we've got this big game between the Seahawks and the 49ers to decide who's going to be the 1 seed. There's so much still up for grabs as far as jockeying for position, who's going to have home field advantage, because when you're talking about that San Francisco 49ers team, they have a great home field advantage. Playing at Levi Stadium is a loud, very good place, and it happens to be the place where the Super Bowl is going to be hosted. So they could potentially have a home game for the Super Bowl if they end up going all the way. The other part of this with San Francisco, I think, is really interesting. They
Mhm.
mentioned this on the broadcast. I didn't
Yeah.
think there was a shot in hell Fred Warner could play this season. If
Yeah,
by
right.
some miracle, right, this man defies logic though in all ways, right? And they talked about all the training and things that he's doing off the field and the things he's doing in the pool to get himself back. Apparently, he will be ready to play potentially in an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Man, oh
And
man, that gives them a hell of a reason to try and make it there, so that Fred Warner could come back and play in that game.
yeah, I got to be honest with you, right? When they said that, I said, yeah, the 49ers are making the NFC Championship game,
I
right?
agree,
Like, this is one of those things that seem that is storybook written at the end of
100%.
the day, right? And Fred Warner comes back now. Who are they facing? And will they win the NFC Championship game? That's, up to be argued, right? But having a number one seed and having everything having to come through San Francisco or, Santa Clara, I think is huge for the 49ers to be able to squeak out some tough wins, especially getting teams potentially like the Eagles on the road or having to play the Packers, or I mean, even potentially a rematch with the Chicago Bears
Oh,
at some
I
point, right?
want it.
Having that
I
having that
want
home field
it.
having that home field advantage, in my opinion, is going to matter tremendously. But Paige Dimakos, there were two teams out there. And I would say this, man, this was a heavyweight fight, right? And not one of
Mhm.
those defensive heavyweight fights. This was a heavyweight fight where there were haymakers after haymakers back and forth. And the Chicago Bears, they came down on the losing end of this. And I think people are going to ask themselves the question. So I'm going to go ahead and preface the question on Draft Club. Are the Chicago Bears true NFC Super Bowl contenders?
Yes, they are. This game didn't push me off of feeling that way at all. In fact, I came away feeling more confident in this team because they've
Mhm.
had to find different ways to put themselves in a position to win football games. They're winning different types of ways, different styles of way. And this game specifically, this was the first time since that Cincinnati game earlier on in the year where you saw this team have to go blow for blow with a
Mhm.
team offensively. And they did this on the road. They did this against a higher caliber team than Cincinnati. They did this against what everybody considers to be a top three coach offensively. This was a chess match between Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan. You saw both of them going into their bag for plays that we haven't seen all year long. And that's exactly what I wanted to see from the Bears. And quite frankly, as somebody who grew up there and had been a fan my whole life, it's something I've never seen from a Bears team. Offensive wizardry, plays coming. I was like, what is this? Oh my God, I can't believe we're going blow for blow with the team on offense. That's not what the Chicago Bears have ever been able to do.
Yeah,
But if you look,
usually
yeah,
I was
usually
gonna say
it's the
usually the
defense.
Chicago Bears, yeah, they cap out at 24, right? You're like, oh,
100%.
once you get to 24, this thing is gonna die out at some point, right?
100%. That was actually kind of being kind. I'd say probably closer to like 17 points is what we've been in the past. So this was quite the chess match between both sides. And the reality is the Niners and that organization and that team are much further along in their establishment of what they
Mhm.
want to be from an identity purpose. But I think the Bears, and for Bears fans, there should be a massive hey, we belong at the table moment, because this game could have gotten away from them very easily. And instead, Caleb Williams and that offense went toe to toe with one of the best offenses that we've seen in the NFL in the last 10 years. And this has been consistently one of the best teams in the NFL over the last 10 years. So I walked away from this going, okay, Bears, I know that you can hang. I know you can hang with the top upper echelon, because as much as beating Green Bay, and as much as that matters, those moments matter. This has still been, the Niners are still the creme de la creme of the top of the NFC over the last decade, and you got to beat those teams if you want to become a big boy. So I walked away still feeling very good about this team. I don't know how you felt, but I'm very curious to hear.
Yeah, no, I felt good about the Chicago Bears, and listen, will I put them in the same tier with the Los Angeles Rams or the
No,
Philadelphia Eagles? No, I think they have a year to get to that step, right? But I think the most optimistic thing that happened in this game, there were two plays, right? There were two plays. One was when they caught the 49ers offside, right?
yeah,
And Caleb Williams patiently, he scrambled, he moved around,
100%.
and he found the tight end deep down the field, right? And Paige Michaels, we've had this conversation before. Remember, I told you, I said it's the scramble plays for Caleb Williams that will start to turn the corner for him. When he starts
Yep.
to do those detailed, nuanced things, because a part of his game is scrambling, just
Mm-hmm.
like Aaron Rodgers, right? Just like
Yep.
that bad man Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
But when
yeah.
he starts converting those plays into positive plays, then Caleb Williams is officially here. Now the whole
Mm-hmm.
NFL needs to be on notice, because this man's physical tools is now matching up with the mental tools. The other play in this game, the fourth down play to Colston Loveland when they
Yeah.
got the first down, right? And I
100%.
go back to the very beginning of the season. I believe it was week 2 or 3, and there was another fourth down play that happened, and Caleb Williams just missed. He just missed. And then there was a short play in the short areas of the field, and he just missed, right? And I was like, Caleb, he's gonna have to start hitting those layups, right? And
Mhm.
when you're talking about a guy that can throw the ball accurately 60 yards down the field, it's not a question of he can throw the ball 5 yards, right? Accurately.
Correct.
He can do that. It was the mental hurdles that he had to get over to start saying, like, hey, let me relax. It's fourth down, but let me calm down. I've been here before. I'm confident in myself, and just deliver the football. And you've seen him deliver a beautiful pass. It was
Yep.
a beautiful game. And in a game where we knew that it was going to be a possession situation, he came up. So those two plays, in my opinion, it lets me know that Caleb Williams is maturing, and he's going from a young man to a grown ass man in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to be optimistic about.
And I think another thing that we had mentioned and you had brought up in, I want to say September, October, when we were watching the Bears and just the kind of the criticism that was happening of Caleb Williams is in those scramble drills. There's also the chemistry that needed to be built up with the players around him, right? And there's a specific play where Kyle Monangai makes the right move to allow for Caleb Williams to pick up the
Mm-hmm.
first down with his legs because he recognizes what Caleb's doing because they're building that chemistry as a team.
Yep.
Those are the things that I'm watching and paying attention to because not having Rome Odunze has been a massive loss for the Bears. That is the guy that he feels most comfortable with. They have by far and away the best chemistry. This has forced him to become better with everybody else. They've really been forced into using Luther Burden. They've been forced into using Colston Loveland more. They've been forced into getting DJ Moore more involved. So I think this has been over the last few weeks, you've seen Caleb develop. And that's the part of this that with all the pressure, with all the conversation, with everything that's happened on the outside, Caleb and Ben Johnson have continued to move forward. And Bears fans, this team, if your expectations were to be a 1 seed and go to the Super Bowl this year, then you're delusional. This team is way ahead of where we thought they were going to be. I was
Mm-hmm.
hopeful for a wild card spot. This team won the NFC North.
Yep.
This is a team that until today was still in contention for the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. That is not, we are not on the same, I did not think Philadelphia, a team that they would go to Philly and knock that team in the mouth. So if you're a Bears fan, you got to walk away with this going, yeah, hell yeah, we can compete with anybody. But I think we're a year away from really, really, truly being a contender in the NFL.